Homestead OC here, week 15. We are getting really close, and these guys are super big. I've tried to think of a way to cut them off feed, but still have feed for everybody else. So that involves maybe splitting the coop right here where the coop is, and then the run. I'll just build or put a little temporary gate across here and down, and then one by one I'll put the chickens in this side pen, and if they can make it through the little gate that keeps them out of the feed, then they're safe. If they can't, then they will be harvested at week 16. So that would include the week 14 hens and cockerels that have reached that age and size, and the week 14 ones, or the week 16 ones eventually, will be week 16. And then there's a few hens that I've decided that we probably shouldn't keep, but we're gonna save those until the new egg layers that we are keeping start laying. Those egg layers, these two look like they are starting to be roosters maybe, and this other one here, it's a Buff Orpington Welsummer cross, looks to be a hen, and then there's another one that's darker than these two, and that is also a rooster. So I think I got a lot more roosters than I originally thought, so not too sure who's gonna get kept and who's gonna get butchered, but I do want to keep a few hens from that breeding. Probably most likely a Americana Welsummer cross for the olive colored eggs. So we'll go ahead and let these guys out, and we got one little baby. She has started to go broody. Her name's Olive. She started to go broody again. The first time, if you remember, she had gone broody, but she only got to sit on eggs for about a week until they hatched. She kind of took over for somebody else, and then all the chicks from her brood got killed by this one's mom, or two moms that they kind of co-raised them. So she didn't get the broodiness out of her. She keeps sitting on eggs, but I don't really want to start another round of chicks just yet. I'd like to thin the flock a little bit, call the flock, whatever you do with the flock when you want to make it smaller, so we can get the breeds that we want to go forward. And that's mostly the Buff Orpingtons, but we also want to keep some Americanas and some of the Americana Welsummer mixes. The Jersey Giant mixes, although they do make good meat birds, and they are somewhat broody, we just like the Buff Orpingtons better. They're a little bit better on foraging, and they're nicer. So that's kind of what we're doing there. And let's go ahead and let these guys out. That is a lot of meat we got running over there. Looks like we got one still in the coop there in the back. Not sure what she's doing back here, but we'll check it out. That one, we got two. You chick 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 chick. What are you, an ostrich? Sticking your head in the ground? What'd you find? I don't know if there's anything in there, but whatever, do what you want. Thought you were stuck. So our little perch tree is fallen over, but it's staying up. Some of them still sleep on there, but most of them are started sleeping in the coop. And you can probably tell that they've been pooping in the coop too. This litter has been in here for coming up on a year. And I was thinking I could go 2 years with it with a deep litter bed and just keep tossing stuff on top of it and raking it. But 40 something chickens, they don't play around when it comes to pooping. So probably add one more layer to this and see how it goes. There's not too much of a smell, but it's starting to come up. I'll come in here and stir it every now and then I'll cover it with a new bag. Lately I've just been putting in the block from the bag, and they'll tear it apart and scratch it everywhere, and also throwing some feed in there to get them scratching in there. When the chicks were coming up, they were the ones that were really scratching around. The moms were scratching around for them, and they were getting into it. So let's go see what these chickens like to do. We've started to have a few problems with them coming in at night. Some of the cockerels are staying out. Oh. They're eating our succulents. Not too worried about these succulents. They like them, they like them. We've got plenty to go around, and this section of the yard is kind of, you know, it's meant to be their forage area. Saving up some money right now to get a poultry netting, and to more focus their attention in this area, and try and keep the feed costs down and the destruction of plants down. They also like to grab at the fruit tree leaves and scratch around at the bases, and it hasn't caused any trouble. It hasn't really caused any trouble. It's just they're scratching out the drippers for the irrigation, and they're moving the mulch off the base, and so that's like wasting water. And one of the trees they might have killed by jumping up and pecking off of it. But one out of, I can't remember exactly how many we got, but you know, one out of quite a few isn't that bad. Got a lot of suckers here. Just pinch those off. You want to pinch off any suckers that are below the graft, and might have to come in here with some clippers to really get it. These two here I'm going to leave. I want to get these kind of as low as possible for fruiting. I want the fruit as low as possible. So I want it to be, you know, this is probably going to be too tall. So that's the central leader right there. And when it comes time to prune, I'm going to keep these and kind of encourage these to come out, one this way and one going out that way, to kind of fill in these spots. And we'll keep We'll keep this one. Probably this one right here, and this one, you can see that. And then I need one going this way, but this one's probably too close to these. If it gets too close, the tree's not as strong, but it's a really strong branch here. Hopefully I can, that one's even too close too, but hopefully this one will make it here. The chicken's really picking at that one. I don't know, we'll see. This one's more of a structure that I like, but again, these are too close. I think these are too close. You know, I want more of a, this much spacing. But we'll see what happens there. Hello. Yeah, they've been cooped up for quite a bit today. I've been putting off making this video. We've had some wildfires going on in Southern California, but it's not as bad as the ones in Northern California. But still, we have a lot of haze and it's not smog, but smoky cloud cover here. That's all smoke. And Cleveland National Forest is it's kind of this way. So we got this big haze coming in from there. They say not to be outside, so I'm not going to stay out here too long. I'm going to go back in and turn the air conditioner on, at least get a filter in the air that I'm breathing. It is pretty hot anyway, so. But these chickens just, they are hot too. Just laying down and sleeping, trying to stay cool. They're just picking away at the succulents. I'm not sure why they like the succulents so much. The only reason I can think of is that they're filled with quite a bit of water right now, so it's nice and moist. Got some prickly pears coming. I'm not quite ready to pick yet, but we should have a couple pretty soon. These are kind of a pain to harvest because of all these little tiny spines there. You gotta burn those off with a torch, and then you can pick it and burn the bottom side. Here's another one of our roosters. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, we've had some problems with some roosters coming in at night. We normally just kind of go out and shut the door and make sure everyone's in, but last couple nights we've had some stuck behind the fence over here, or they're hiding underneath this or something, so I have to go and make some rounds and make sure everyone's in. We've also had a couple times where the chicken's been left out if we close it up, so luckily they turned out okay. But there's a lot of raccoons and possums around here, especially in this yard. Lots of places to hide out. Here's the annual garden. Our bell peppers have pretty much been eaten down to nothing. Some are still kind of fighting along, but the watermelon's starting to take over. Got quite a bit of that. But the real king of the bed are these zucchinis here. We got zucchinis in the front, and then right about here it turns into patty pan squash. You can see the patty pans in there. Haven't got any zucchinis yet, but we've got quite a few patty pans. And then over here is our, we got an acorn squash and a butternut squash, and I forget which one's which, but we'll find out as soon as they start getting ripe. Our jalapeno plant is recovering nicely. It kind of got eaten down to the nubs by some mice and possums, I'm sure, but it's coming back. The sweet potato has taken over the ground cover, and it's got a few mints poking up. Right there, there's a mint. Down here, the comfrey's doing pretty good. We got a lavender hiding underneath there, and then way deep down in there, there's some rosemary. It likes more sun than it's getting. I probably planted the comfrey too close. Basil's doing great. Papaya's doing good. And I'm really excited because I've got some papayas. Look at that. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 papayas. And also, what's pretty exciting is we got a whole tree full of figs here. This is one tree. It's kind of spread out in a hedge type of pattern. They're almost ready. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's sweet. But you can see it hasn't plumped out enough, and it's a little bit seedy, I guess. I don't know. They're all seeds. Here, chick, 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 chick. Here, chick, 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 chick. They like it. Well, that about wraps it up for our week 15 video. The plan is to use up the rest of our high protein feed in this feeder, and then cut off feed for a day, and then we'll start slaughtering. Hopefully there's not too many to do in a day. I'm expecting to do maybe 14 or 15 in a day. Our first batch was 14, but there might be a few hens that I want to keep, and there might be a few of the week 14 cockerels that are too big to keep going. So I estimate around 15. But yeah, that's coming next week. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the slaughter video. It's my first time, so it's probably going to be wrong, whatever I'm doing. But I've been watching a lot of videos and talking to a lot of people about, you know, the quickest way to dispatch them, how to you know, make it so they're not afraid, and you know, I just want it to be quick for them. We haven't named these ones, but you know, I like them. They're all nice chickens, and they've had a happy life here. Quite a few more weeks than what people normally have them. So, you know, I think it's a good thing to do. We're saving chickens from living a horrible life in a factory farm, and you know, we could just not eat meat, but we choose to eat meat, so we should also choose to raise and slaughter our own meat. I think that's only fair. You know, at least one time. I'd like to keep doing this, but I think everyone should do it at least one time, just to be more in touch with where your meat actually comes from, and the effort and the life involved in you continuing to live the way you want to live. Most people just go to the store and pick it up and don't even think twice, and probably never even seen a real live chicken in their life. They just see them all cut up in a package. So that's what I want for my family, is to see where their food comes from and be a little bit more in touch with it. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure and come back for week 16 and the inevitable slaughter and processing video. Got a few supplies already, but there's a few more that I need to get, and need to figure out a workstation and start prepping. Again, thanks for watching. Make sure and like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. I think I got like 10 subscribers now, so that's that's fun for me. I'm sure it's nothing to a lot of people, but it means a little something to me. So thanks everyone for subscribing that has, and if you haven't, please go ahead and do that. Have a great day.